On the 19th of April 2022, I received a message from my friend Tiska. He asked a simple question: wanna learn the dupe? As we spoke, the most chaotic event in the history of the Hypixel pit was in the process of unfolding. A massive duplication glitch was leaked to the broader community, and people scrambled as literally everyone and their mama started to replicate entire god sets. The exploit was so simple that it could be done in 10 seconds. What was the fallout? Who did this come from? What actually happened? To answer these questions, we must travel back 1 week and uncover a story which involves deception, betrayal, and $5 million of Minecraft items. That's right, 5 million. I'm serious. Buckle in everyone, this is gonna be a wild ride. If you like these videos, subscribe to join the before 1 million gang. The days started out rather slow, but as usual on Pit, things did not stay that way for long. My friend Maisie, one of the top players in the game, noticed something rather suspicious. There was a player selling large amounts of Pure, the standard in-game currency on Pit. Pure simply signifies valuable items, which people use as a medium of exchange, like feathers, cacti, or chunks of vile. The player was advertising Pure in bulk. But what quantities are we talking? Maisie inquired as to how much Pure the player actually had, at which point the person responded, "How much do you want?" Instantly, Maisie realized something fishy was going on and investigated the situation further. The player had stacks on stacks on stacks of feathers and vile, meaning they certainly knew a duplication glitch of some sort. But the question was whether or not it worked on mystics. This distinction is quite crucial. If a dupe works on mystics, anything goes. If not, pretty cool, but it's not the end of the world. The pit runs on mystics. They're what keep top players at the top and bottom players at the bottom. This is why the bread dupe, which only benefited gold, was inconsequential compared to something like the double login. With double login, a player's entire inventory could be replicated in minutes. With mystics, you can start with a single fresh, duplicate it, enchant it, maybe buy and sell some of those items for other stuff, and boom, you're the richest player on the server. Learning of the existence of a duplication glitch was monumental. So Maisie messaged two of his closest friends, Omi and Trix, and began to assemble the God Squad. That isn't just a figure of speech, that's literally what they called themselves. Kind of egotistical, but these are pit players, what do you expect? Anyway, the God Squad is an elite group of Minecrafters who sought to take full advantage of the duplication glitch as fast as possible. Mind you, without profiting a penny. With no context, Maisie told Omi and Trix he needed secret accounts to keep illegal contraband hidden away. With the help of the original player, they duplicated Maisie's god set as well as a gargantuan amount of feathers. Soon after this, Kaguru was added to God Squad, and they learned how the dupe worked. As he described to me, and I quote, "Kaguru was mashing work behind the scenes and got the dupe from your boy for free. Then the God Squad mashed too much work." Maisie's friend Scribbles enchanted a nice tier 2 item which Maisie borrowed and proceeded to give more than one copy back. Maisie trusted him enough to tell him what was going on, and since the rest of God Squad was on EU time, he needed someone to help him while the rest of them were asleep. They immediately started duping OG items, including pumpkins and recon essences, something which was noticed by the broader pit community. People started to get suspicious about the God Squad, and they were followed around in every lobby. Because of this, the members started to stand in the stats villager to mess with the player base. They would leave the lobby and come back later.
And just like pretend it's a stats dupe, so then we would come back nicked and we would see like 15 kids standing in the stats villager.
At one point, a player even claimed to have figured out how the dupe worked and filled his inventory with cherries to demonstrate. The God Squad, fully formed, included Maisie, Kaguru, Omi, Trix, Scribbles, and God Tier. When this occurred, some ground rules for how they were going to operate were established. Not a single item was to be sold. They would do everything in the dark. Not a single person outside the group could know of the activities they were engaged in. This meant if anyone suspected them, if anyone inquired, they would have to deflect, lie, and deceive in order to throw others off the trail. And so, the mass production began. If one is to dupe mass amounts of illegal items, how do they hide it? In a public lobby, anyone can take a look at a player's name and search it in PitPanda to see all of their items and their stash. Even if the person is nicked, shift-clicking on their character will reveal their stuff, though the stash is inaccessible from this view. Even still, if an account is in the PitPanda database, their IGN can be found by searching for one of their mystics. This presents 3 separate problems: public lobbies, no nicknames, and PitPanda. To hide from all of these methods of detection at once, accounts that were never on PitPanda with the MVP++ were used in completely dead lobbies. The God Squad began by duping Maisie's God set and then moved on to create the top items in the game. On Pit, there is a special Uberstreak reward called the Hidden Jewel Sword, which, upon reaching 117 kills, will enchant to tier 1 with 3 levels of a random enchant. Because of this, some of the best swords in the game can be created through hidden jewels, but the chances of that occurring are quite slim. Naturally, with a dupe, chance goes out the window. The God Squad duplicated a whole bunch of hidden jewel swords at 116 kills and put them away in an alt stash. Items in a stash will lose lives if the player dies, which happened on one occasion. The stash account died and all of the hidden jewel swords were brought back to 0 kills. Because of the time zone differences, Omi, Kag, Godtier, and Trix worked on getting the jewels, and by the time the Americans woke up the next day, tons of new items were created. They started farming out the jewels to create a Billionaire 3 sword, and after tons of tries, eventually got it. Not only that, but they also attained an Executioner 3, a Gamble 3, and really any item you can think of. Then they enchanted the Billionaire to eventually get Lifesteal, the Executioner to get Moctezuma, and any other enchant one could possibly want. Maisie duplicated tons and tons of funky feathers, and the stash account Majestic Grizzly got leaked to the public. They were chilling in a dead lobby, and a Prestige 2 joined. It was just their luck that the Prez 2 account was the leader of a bee-hopping group who shared his discovery on Discord. As people started freaking out, Maisie went on to convince everyone that the thousands of feathers were only a visual glitch and didn't actually work in the game. Despite this, people were still suspicious, especially those with relatively close connection to the dupers. They weren't only duping feathers though. Maisie got his hands on an ender pearl from Jessica and gave way more than her initial investment as return. That's been a personal dream of mine, to dupe ender pearls and go absolutely ham on the entire server. They couldn't do that just yet though. The seal of secrecy had not yet broken. Duping items like feathers is pretty simple, but mystics require enchanting, which requires gold. God Squad was so desperate that Maisie was going after 200 gold bounties just to be able to enchant one more item.
Yeah, you need 300 gold. Go kill that 250G, bro. That's enough, bro. Maisie, don't die.
Are you falling?
Oh, you would have died, bro.
Are you?
Their gold troubles didn't last long though. Before we get to that though, let me explain how the dupe actually worked. In Minecraft, when you press F6, the game opens a menu for Twitch streaming. Interestingly enough, when this happens, Hypixel doesn't actually register that you closed the menu, so you can go interact with things all day long. If you then open a written book, the ender chest would close without registering any changes. This meant that items could be taken out of the e-chest, and the e-chest wouldn't lose any of those items. You can open a written book by /reporting someone. So the dupe goes, open the e-chest, take out items, press F6, /report. Yeah, it was that simple. Because of this, Kag and Scribbles went nuts with bread and could sell a full inventory in seconds. Each inventory is worth about 40,000 gold, so that adds up fast. They kept up their shenanigans, and at current market value, the cost it would take to buy all of the items they created would literally be in millions of dollars. Billionaire 3 Lifesteal 3s go for over 3 grand a pop, and God Squad made hundreds of them. Now, I haven't been entirely honest with you during this video. While all of this was going on, there have been other parties involved who also got their hands on the dupe. However, they didn't do much, so I've neglected to mention them thus far. That all changed on April 19th. On April 19th, a player who has appeared on this channel before named Nightloot learned of the dupe from one of those other parties. Nightloot was angry at the God Squad for not being included in their shenanigans, so he leaked the dupe to the entire community. After this, all hell broke loose. Pretty soon, people were streaming themselves duping in Pit Planet.
I just wasted your time, guys. How'd you feel? Guys, I wasted your time.
Oh my god.
No, what the fuck?
is this, bro?
Wait, what? Wait, show me that. Show me that.
Guys, sorry, my game lagged.
The channels were going crazy, and I started to get DMs as well. Now, I'm not super involved in this game mode anymore, so you know something serious is going down when people are contacting the Pit historian about history being made live. Things were absolute chaos. Literally everyone was surrounding the ender chest, duping feathers, mystics, bread, pearls, anything you can think of. Personally, I hopped on and duplicated some tactical insertions and XP bottles for the memes. You can throw the bottles, but it unfortunately doesn't give you any Pit XP. That didn't make duping any less fun. People were having god fights without consequences left and right, and hackers were b-hopping around with items previously worth thousands of dollars. Not only that, but God Squad fulfilled my dream. They were pearling around and going ham on everyone. Regrettably, any known footage of that has been lost, but if you have seen any video of ender pearls being used in Pit action, please send them my way. Otherwise, the only thing we can do is find another dupe and do it again. Soon after, the Pit was taken entirely offline and the dupe was patched. The game mode remained inaccessible for some time, and when it reopened, everything had been rolled back 36 hours. Hilariously, a Prestige 5 player was reset back to Prestige 4 who screamed, "My levels are gone! Why am I Pres 4 again? Fuck!" Because the dupers had known about the exploit for longer than that, a fair number of illegal items remain in the game to this day. Over the next couple weeks, dupe stashes here and there were deleted, but the fallout is still unknown. I don't know if we will ever know the true scope of what survives, because God Squad continues to refuse to sell any duped items. The day after the patch, they leaked that God tier had gotten banned and wiped. Not only was this not true, it also sparked a massive movement in Pit Central. Who cares about insert current hot topic? You have to get behind the God tier did nothing wrong, free my guy, system is definitely corrupt movement. There were other sides to this story that I didn't adequately cover. Like I mentioned, there were other parties involved, but their actions were mostly rolled back, unlike the God Squads. Even if I didn't get to everything, I hope this video was enjoyable. Now, if you can't tell based on my super infrequent uploads and general inactivity on Discord, I'm moving away from the Pit. Despite this, several individuals have requested I give one last send-off to the game mode, the biggest project this channel has ever seen, a full, hours-long documentary on the entire history of the Pit. This massive undertaking would be quite the feat, which is why they suggested I crowdfund it to make it a community-sponsored event. If this is something you're interested in supporting, DM me on Discord. I'm particularly looking at all you IRL traders who walked away from this game mode with several grand. If you don't want to support the project, I can't guarantee it will happen, but if it does, you can still enjoy it nonetheless. That's gonna do it for today, guys. I've been your host, Sudi, and I'll see you guys next time.